All right, guys, we are live, or tonight, yes, we are live, and pretty much media combine day, so, kind of an interesting kind of day. Like NBC does a nice job, like Chris Sims and Florio, they really dominate down at the combine. They have great content. I'm not paid to plug NBC or anything like that, but today's like really media days to listen to press conferences. Like Mike Borgonzi seems pretty sharp. Ben Johnson came out swinging today. Like he was excellent. Ben Johnson, again, these guys say a lot of the right things. They often preach collaboration. Everybody's going to say that they collaborate. They're not going to say that their GM has, say one way or the other. Things are pretty buttoned up in the National Football League. Not too many people's opinions are going to sway from, the major opinions, okay? And that is why I think we see less trading and mock drafts are going to become more accurate, because with analytics and with more general managers being analytically driven, we're going to see like less outliers or less minority opinions, and the the consensus is, I believe, going to rule the day in the NFL and for the NFL Combine. But today was another day that James Gladstone took center stage, and this is somebody that is one of the youngest general managers in the history of the NFL. This is somebody that we have never seen in the public light ever. For years, he was kept under wraps in St. Louis and in Los Angeles, and I go back and forth. I have a very tough time evaluating James because Gladstone, he kind of talks in this monotone kind of way. And at times his answers can seem robotic or emotionless. And he always uses the same words, like he uses, Les Snead. He talks about the ecosystems of he talks about the ecosystem of, team building, and, instead of opportunities, he uses the word ops, and he talks kind of like Liam Cohen. He uses like these slang kind of words, and all of that is fine. And then there's some times when I think, okay, this guy's really refreshing. This guy's tremendously bright. I liked that. I like that his dad's an offensive lineman. I like that he takes on an offensive lineman's personality. He's less of a look at me kind of a guy. What else with Gladstone was really interesting today? I mean, that he kind of, had the same, kind of wordage that he used the other day. So he plays the hits, which is ecosystem, which is phase, which is the lens of this, and all right, so that's James. All right, that's Gladstone, and this guy, he's going to address the offensive line. Like, he's going to get Trevor Lawrence protection up front. He knows that the Jags have a lot of capital. He doesn't give away any secrets. I mean, this guy is an incredible poker player. He's hard to get any information out of him. And a lot of GMs are like that. I'd say that the most similar one to James might be a little Howie Roseman, a little bit of Nick Caserio. Like, Casario's kind of has that real killer instinct to him. I know that he prides himself like Les, but Les seems really laid back, where James is a little more uptight. Now, James might get more familiar, but the one thing I do appreciate about James is he's very, very consistent. He's consistently himself, and that's what we're really seeing, through this process. I thought that Liam Cohen today is just a really fun, relaxed interview. He just does really well, at communicating, and James is right about that. James Gladstone would be the most interesting guy to sit down for 2 hours to see, like, if he can ever, like, kind of break character, if he can ever crack a smile, if he can ever go off course. Because the guy he's dialed in, and you could say that it's, the same old cliches over and over again, and it's robotic, and sometimes it can get frustrating to watch. And if the Jags start losing, this same, these same cliches are going to really get tiresome to these Jacksonville Jaguar fans. But if they win, then you're going to say the guy's brilliant. So I guess that's the rule of thumb. That's not, exactly expert analysis. But in really watching everything that Gladstone did today on the mic with seeing him in local reporters is kind of interesting, like in a media scrum, because I want to make him think faster on his feet. I want to challenge him. I want to ask him some offbeat questions, and see if he can react or if he's going to break character or not. But the point is that he's going to be drafting. It's going to be interesting. He's going to be a guy now that general managers are going to have to talk to. A lot of GMs seem like really chill guys that are easy to talk to, and like Les Snead, John Lynch, John Snyder. These are kind of big, outspoken personalities. Terry Fontenot, great guy. Ryan Poles seems like very easy to talk to, easy to get along with. I think maybe Kwesi Adelfa-Mensah, he's very into analytics. Same with the guy out there in Baltimore. So I think it could be a Baltimore approach, Andrew Berry or Kwesi Adelfa-Mensah. And Mensah, again, kind of came from that outside world, came from Wall Street and came into Minnesota, and he's been dialing it up. I mean, he's had excellent years, excellent drafts. So Minnesota's forward thinking in that way. Jacksonville, you got Udinski, which is fascinating. You got Gladstone. You got Liam Cohen. These are all risers. You have all these young guys. But the thing is, when adversity hits, what's going to happen in Jacksonville? I guess that's the golden question. But again, you have a quarterback who's entering his prime, and you're in a division that is very obtainable on the surface. I think Houston could still be damn good. Tennessee's years away, probably. And we're going to see what the Titans end up doing in the draft. But Borgonzi and Callahan, I think that that's a safer floor than I think Gladstone and Liam Cohen. Then you look at Indianapolis. That's a really just futile, I guess. That might be the wrong word. I mean, a very turbulent is the word. Turbulent is what I'd say Chris Ballard is in year 7 or 8, never really replacing Andrew Luck, never winning a playoff game since Andrew Luck, quarterback carousel, Matt Ryan failing, Phillip Rivers, Nick Foles, Anthony Richardson off to a horrible start. A lot of turmoil in that building. Turmoil is the word I'm looking for. Shane Steichen, the locker room fracturing, losing to the New York Giants. He's on the hot seat, and so is Chris Ballard. And then in Houston, I think you have a good balance between a guy who's a real players coach and DeMeco Ryans kind of with the Patriot way, which is Nick Caserio. And Caserio needed DeMeco. He needed DeMeco, okay? Because Caserio, I think, could be a very good GM, but he needed to get over that rough patch, which was Lovie Smith and David Culley. He needed to get past that wave, and now they got a quarterback, and now Caserio can work his magic in the middle rounds and nerd out and perform, all right? But really in Jacksonville, the thing that I like is that they're going for it. And they're going young, and they're fully committed to it. Now, they were committed to Urban, Jacksonville has fought outside the box before, all right? But these are all NFL guys, all right? So James has 10 years of experience in the NFL. Grant has about 3 or 4. Liam has a ton of experience with the Rams. It seems like these guys get along fairly well. And then you kind of have your brains or guys that talk about analytics and guys that talk about ecosystems and all these $1,000 words, which is fine. And then you have your gritty kind of football guys, hopefully with Baselli. And it seems like Campanelli, it seems like he uses more F words than he does the real fancy words. And I kind of probably lean myself. I kind of would probably be more, unfortunately, I never played football. So when you don't play football, you try to act tough. You try to act like a football guy. So I would maybe in practice want to prefer myself as a Tony Baselli or as an Anthony Campanelli. But in reality, I'm more of probably Gladstone, more of probably Udinski-like in the way that I am. Kind of everybody doesn't want to be who they are. Like in basketball, I could shoot the basketball, but I'm not athletic enough to drive it. I don't really have hops, or, I can't really dribble. So when you're coaching basketball, I sometimes gravitated to the guys that struggled shooting but did other parts of the game better than I did, because it's like, all right, I could try to teach this guy how to shoot, right? I could teach him how to shoot, but the athleticism, I would have loved to be blessed with even more athleticism or work harder on that aspect. So combine, a little bit of fun today, some good pressers. Like, I bet Spy Tech really had a strong day today, if I had to say. And then I think we got O-linemen tomorrow. And linemen are the most fun, players to interview. They're the most down to earth. I think that they'll give you great answers. They're real team guys. A lot of times they're not like quarterback or wide receiver or running back, where they really get noticed a ton in public. So I think we'll see a lot of fun tomorrow. I'm hoping again to see Campbell get interviewed a lot of places. I think he has a lot of expectation for tomorrow, but he's from Monroe. He sounds like a wrestler. I think he can be absolutely fantastic. So that is the combine. I think the Jags are the most fascinating team. I didn't see a whole lot of New Orleans. I bet maybe the New Orleans contingent is getting in late tonight. I wonder if Kellen Moore wanted to take a step back today and did not want to be a part of the media circle today. I did not see any of the Arizona Cardinals today in attendance for this. Okay, so I wonder if Arizona's getting in a little bit later. San Francisco, like some of the West Coasters, are probably even going to get in later. And maybe like teams like Jacksonville, Philadelphia, the Eagles just won the Super Bowl. But I didn't see any Jets, so I can't wait to see maybe Aaron Glenn tomorrow. Chicago, like a lot of the new staffs are chomping to get to Indy and spend a lot of time together. But you don't want to show up at a party too early. So I think that tomorrow we're going to see massive fireworks in terms of the media portion. I think that the interviews, I think that a lot of people right now are getting to Indy. I would like to be in Indianapolis. I've spent 1 year at the Combine. It was a lot of fun. Now it's open to the public, which is a great decision by the NFL. And I do like it in Indy. It's calm, it's Midwest, it's relaxed pace. But again, they're discussing about moving it, but it's kind of a tradition in Indy, and we're going to see what happens with this combine. But quarterbacks are always fun to watch. Running back, wide receiver, the 40 times are fun to watch. The cone drills, really the Senior Bowl and the Shrine Bowl and all the film probably carries more weight. But you could see, like in these interview settings, what players are comfortable in front of the microphone. Who do you think is going to impress in an interview portion? All right, and that's what we're going to see. So, again, a very interesting day one in Indianapolis, and fun monitoring everything that went down.